This video is going to be something new I wanted to try, and as a new series I am hoping for it to be just a simple commentary type video over some gameplay where I can share some of my thoughts about certain units, skills, or builds in Fire Emblem Heroes. This first episode is going to be about my first experience using the newly available Double Tactics buff build thanks to the Defense Tactics Sacred Seal. I have a La Rochelle that has Res Tactic, so combined she will be handing out a +6 defense and resistance buff, sort of like a Fortify Emblem team buff. So first off, I want to say that this team is probably my best arena team ever that sort of just happened on accident. It started off as a cool team of Sacred Stones units, then they became my Fire Blessing team for the Blessed Gardens, and since Legendary Ephraim is a bonus unit this week and it's a Fire Elemental season, I gave them a shot in arena. I'm not a player who focuses on staying in tier 20 arena, but this was just a perfect storm for getting some of my best arena scores since launch. Do keep in mind that with the Fire Blessing bonus, Eirika, La Rochelle, and Murr are all getting an extra +3 HP and +4 defense, which should help them in arena scoring. As the gameplay rolls on, I want to discuss my initial thoughts on using defense and res tactic together on the same unit. First off, it's an extremely satisfying way to buff a team up. Unbelievably easy to make sure everyone got the +6 buffs, and I would have to say that having flyers in a mixed tactics team is a really great idea. Since Myrrh isn't stopped by terrain, I could position her in spots where she could still receive the tactic buffs and make some room when I needed it. Do I think it's worth running 2 tactic skills on one unit? Well, I'm pretty sold on the idea at the moment, and if you can set up the right team, then yes, you just get so much customization options with these tactic skills as Sacred Seals. One thing to keep in mind is that you could theoretically run 4 tactic skills with 2 on each unit, but this does change the way the team receives buffs. If you had a team with 1 tactic skill per unit, then that would mean everyone would get 3 +6 buffs to every stat, except the stat respective to the type of tactic skill they had. In a scenario with 2 double tactic buffers, you would have the 2 non-buffers receive +6 to all 4 stats, while the 2 buffers would just exchange +6 buffs to 2 stats. I know that is confusing, but basically I'm trying to say that creating the perfect tactics team will be more complicated than simply running double tactic builds. Some downsides to the double tactics build is that obviously if you lose this buffer, you just lost 2 +6 buffs to your team, and that is absolutely not good for you. Another thing is that the panic status becomes super effective towards your team since you are running more really strong buffs. If people start using double tactic builds a lot, then I would expect players to start placing high HP panic ploy users on their defensive teams, which is pretty common already. Panic was already a counter to buff bots like Eirika herself, and it's even deadlier against the tactic skills because they are +6 instead of +4. Hopefully you can see in the gameplay that +6 defense and resistance just makes Eirika and Murr really quite tanky. Every fight my units are getting into, they always have that extra defense and res, and for Murr especially, pretty much nothing is going to kill her except an archer. Just to talk about my team you see here a little more, La Rochelle has been my most recent 5-star promotion, and boy, I heavily underestimated her. So during their banner I gotten a Mage Eirika, minus attack unfortunately, and despite that I was just not impressed with her for what I was expecting. I basically only promoted La Rochelle just to use her Res Tactic 3, and I was going to relegate her to a Blade Tome build instead of Ivaldi. However, seeing her in action with the buffs of Fury, Ivaldi, and Honed Cavalry changed my mind completely. The use of Fury 3 and Ivaldi essentially grant a Honed Cavalry buff, and stacked with an actual Honed Cavalry buff, she just decimates opponents. I can say that a plus speed La Rochelle is a lot of fun, but I'm pretty sure a plus attack Mage Eirika does come out on top in terms of offensive stats. So while my Mage Eirika is minus attack, I will still be looking to place her on the right team and give her another shot in the future. As for regular Eirika, you can see that she is using her upgraded Siglin, still using Distant Counter and Guard. I will say that the defense and res tactic build on La Rochelle is super nice for my Eirika since she can get the +18 setup for defense or resistance, at least against ranged units. For the most part, I only let her fight green units, but I do think there is a clip of her fighting a female Morgan and tanking that blue magic like a champ. She can handle green mages like +10 Ninos with ease, and she can also at least survive the occasional Hector while not charging his special. Eirika's lack of damage is an issue I find, and I wish I could get an attack tactic for her. Murr could be using Hone Attack, but I did forget to change out her Hone Dragons. Oops. Moving on to Legendary Ephraim, he is still pretty darn good, and he is a really nice attacker to have, since in the hands of the player, it's not too hard to set up the guaranteed double attack. Ephraim does have Honed Cavalry, and this helps buff La Rochelle to insane levels of attack and speed. And Eirika can also copy these buffs off of La Rochelle, so it's a really nice bit of synergy. Last is Myrrh, and while I haven't made a video about her, she really does deserve one. Murr has just unbelievably impressed me so far, and I have to say that I like this plus res minus HP nature I got. I know Distant Counter is a popular choice for her, and while I do think it's a good idea, I just like seeing her insane stats with Fury equipped. 55 attack, 39 defense, and 37 resistance is just disgusting, and even if I give her Distant Counter, I would have to probably also use, or need to use Iote's Shield, since she does fall to archers. Instead of going for that one route, I decided to keep Fury and just play around it. Not using Quick Riposte, which is also a good skill to use, I went with Vantage for a more dueling oriented build. I comboed this with Glimmer because 55 magic damage does a hefty amount to just about every unit in the game. Because Great Flame prevents follow-up attacks, Myrrh usually only takes 2 actions in the first round of battle. This means Glimmer is charged, and if she takes any substantial damage, then Vantage is ready to proc. If she doesn't use Glimmer, then I can use her to nuke an enemy on my player phase. It's a build I've been happy with, and personally I've had success with, so I'm going to keep using it. Myrrh is an absolute monster in this game, and in this team she is just getting so much buffs. Basically Fury is the only thing that is killing her. She is also a great counter against Noe, and for me that is basically a must-have requirement for any of my arena teams. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I know it's something a little different than what I normally do. I will continue to make helpful guides for you guys, but I felt like doing something different, and I want to be able to create more content since sometimes certain videos take me longer than I expect. Battle testing will be a series where I can just have a small talk about what I've been trying out in Fire Emblem Heroes, and I also want it to be a sort of extra extension for certain video topics. For example, if I talk about a certain unit, then I can also make a battle testing video where I can show you guys some in-game footage of their performance as well as just any other experiences I've had. It's a fun way for me to show off a unit or build, and you guys get more videos. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys in the next video.